Hi everyone. We are now going to take a quick look at how to make a bootlegged Lego, also known as a BootLego. All right, so I've done this twice now, and so it should go pretty smoothly. Famous last words. But once you have filled out the sheet, so you go through the slides. All right, so let's go back to here. You go through these slides here, and you take your measurements off these slides. I would go to present mode. It's just easier to read. And I worked with a simple little sketch at my side, just a hand-drawn sketch, where I recorded this number. It's more than 0.6. It's not 0.7. It's 0.6 and change, right? So 0.624. Nope, 0.623. 0.623, okay, is what I see here. I would flip through these slides, and I'd write down that, and I'd write down each of these numbers, okay, each of these numbers. And then you should be able to go right to the, I would like those numbers recorded, please, in this week's purple folder. I would like those numbers recorded right here. Okay, so we'll open this up. We'll take a quick look here. And you put those numbers right here, dimension number, and then the drawing will pop up in 1 second over here, I believe. Yeah, so what'd you get when you looked at the dial caliper? Well, we just looked at number 1, and we got 0.623. So I would just write 0.623. And the units are already stated, so you can just leave units blank. It's in inches, 0.623 inches. Go on to measurement number 2, which is the height of the block, right? And all these things you can get from the calipers. Or, for instance, number 4, you need to do a calculation, right? 4 is going to be the height of 3 minus the height of 2. Right? 4 is the difference between 3 and 2. Okay, so 4 you'll have to subtract 2 from 3. And same thing with number 5. What's that dimension? Well, it's the same as 7, but what is it? Well, you'll see that the dial caliper will have a reading from this line here down to the edge, right? And you'll also have the diameter of the circle. So if you have from here to the edge, how do you get from center line to the edge? Well, if you have from here to the edge, you just subtract the radius of the circle. Then that will be that much less. And so that'll be from here, center, to the edge. All right, so get your numbers off here. Record them here first. And then once you have these numbers recorded from those photographs, go to Onshape and click Create, Document. Name it. I'm going to name it BootLego 2 because I already have a BootLego. BootLego 2. Name your document. Doesn't matter which plane you work on. I'm just going to choose the top plane. There's a top plane, sketch. I can hit the letter N to look right at it, or I can just click on the top of the view cube to look right at it. And I'm going to draw my square. I think it was 0.623, right? So I'm going to draw a square here, some arbitrary size, and write 0.623. Enter. 0.623. All right, we're off and running here. So there's the general shape of the block, the Lego block. Now I think we should just say OK. Click on it, extrude it, and I'm going to look at my numbers. I got 0.376 for the extrusion, 0.376. And I will enter. So there's the general shape of the Lego, the right size. And the next item, I believe, will probably be to put those little circles on it. The little cylinders that stick up off the Lego. So I have it written down. I don't see it right in front of me at this moment, but I do know there's 4 circles here. So I'm going to sketch on this plane. I'm going to choose that plane and sketch on it. I'm actually just going to draw 1 circle. And I'm going to look at my notes. I have its diameter is 0.193. Hey, I got pretty close. Look at that, 0.185. 0.193, enter. I just drew 1 because I can also just go like this, right? So I can click on that thing once. Oops, I got to escape out of my circle tool though. I'm out of my circle tool, click on it, and I can Command C and Command V. There it is, the right size. I have to left click to accept. Yes. Command V again. And left click to accept. And one more time. So these are all the right size. They're not in the right place. Left click to accept. Okay, they're there. Now I've got to put them in the right place because they're approximately in the right place, but very approximately, right? So I did a little bit of math and I found out that the distance from the center to the edge is 0.161 inches. So I'm going to grab my dimension tool and I'm going to go center to edge. And that's going to be 0.161, 0.161. Enter. And I'm going to do it on this axis too. From here to this edge is also the same. That one's close. Look at that. 0.161. Enter. Okay. Same thing for all of them. Here to here, 0.161. 0.161. Enter. And here to here, 0.161. Enter. Same. So stick with me for a sec while I do this. 0.161. And here to here. Oh, I think that one's right. Does it say 1.161? Oh, that's so close. 0.161. Two more times here. Here. 161. Enter. And then the distance between here and here. 161. Enter. And there we go. There, now all those little circles are in the right spot. So I'm going to accept that. And I'm going to choose 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to extrude them. But probably not to 1 inch. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, not quite. They might be a little bit long there. All right, so I did some math here too. I took a look and I found that this, let's see, well, the height to the top of the cylinder was 0.45. The height of the block itself is 0.376. And so the difference is 0.074. 0.074. Enter. All right, I click OK and I take a look. Okay, starting to look like a Lego here. They're in the right place. They're the right height. I think now we just go to the back side, right? We go to the back side over here. And I feel like I'm forgetting something on the front. No, I'm not. We're good. All right, so here's the back. I'm going to sketch on this back plane. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to cancel that. I'm not going to sketch on that back plane. I'm going to shell out that back plane. I'm going to shell it out. It's going to default to 1/10 of an inch. But when I look at the dial caliper, I see something a lot closer to 0.059. 0.059er. And I hit OK. And all right, that's pretty good. It looks a little thick. That might be a little bit off. I'm going to check that, but easy enough to fix. That is what I got when I looked the first time. Okay, so now I want to. There's a circle that goes in here, and it's centered, and the dial caliper had its diameter as about 0.255 inches. So I think I'll draw where? In there. Sketch. Circle tool. Again, just a circle, kind of close. Yeah, not that close. And it's 0.255, just over 1/4 inch. 0.255. Okay, well there. Now it's the right size, but it is definitely not centered. There's a couple ways to center this thing, but I think the easiest way, right, since we know this outside dimension, is 0.623. Right, so I'm just going to grab my dimension tool and put this halfway to 0.623, right? So I don't want that to be 0.623. I want it to be half of 0.623. I'm just going to write 0.623 over 2. Okay, boom. Okay, now it's the same thing in the other dimension. From here to here, same idea. 0.623. I can just write the 0.312. It did the math for me. Maybe I'll just save Save myself a keystroke or two, 0.312. Now that's centered. Okay, so we're good. Check. Okay, so now here's a great clue. All right, so how far do we extrude that? We don't really have the depth measurement, and even if we did, we could easily be off by a hundredth or a thousandth of an inch. We could be off by a little bit, but there's a great tool right here. Check this out, right? So I'm going to extrude, wait, I'm going to choose something to extrude. I'm going to extrude that. Watch this. This is awesome. To where? Up to face. What face? That face right there. Make sure I get the right one. That face. And it extrudes it to the face I just chose. So now it's the same height as that face. Okay? We have one more step here, and we're good to go. So the next step is to shell out this. And I have the shell thickness there as 0.037. I feel like that's a little thick. I'm going to dial in 0.035. Just from experience in the past couple days. I want to dial in 0.035 here, even though I read 0.037. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to shell it. So I'm going to choose my shell tool. I'm going to shell that. And it defaults to 1/10 of an inch. But I'm going to do 0.035. 0.035. Let's see what that looks like. All right, approximately. We'll take a close look there. Well, there we have it, a BootLego. And the real test will be when we print this up, does it click to an actual Lego? And so we'll know then. But there it is. You know, that one pretty quickly. Your BootLego, and then I would like you to please do a drawing file, a fully dimensioned drawing file with the isometric in the upper right, shaded view, and then the other views as necessary. You'll need 3 other views with dimensions on them. Okay, and that's that. Hope you had fun. I sure did. All right, Roger and Dodger over and out. Talk to you soon.